One of my most popular videos is a video titled Signs You Won't Get the Job. It's basically indicators from the interview or post-interview that they don't plan on extending you an offer or bringing you in for an additional interview. Why is this video so popular? Well, it's because recruiters, hiring managers, and HR people, they do a pretty poor job of letting you know whether or not they're gonna move forward with you. So you're left to read between the lines. So today I decided to do another video, a sequel to that, and give you 6 more key indicators, key signs that you won't get the job. Let's go. Now, one of the big things you need to look for as someone who is interviewing, as in terms of an indicator that they're not going to move forward with you, they're not going to extend you an offer, is they are clearly distracted. Most of the time when I'm talking to a candidate that I'm interested in, I am in the zone. I am paying attention, I am typing, I am asking questions. Why? Because there is so much information you need to pay attention to be able to accurately relay to the hiring manager, this is why you should move forward with this candidate, or this is why they are not a good fit. But when a recruiter has identified that they are not really interested in you, or a hiring manager is they've identified, or an HR person, they've said, you know what, this person isn't the one I want to hire, they tend to start multitasking, getting distracted. So that right there, if you notice that in your interview, they seem to all of a sudden start to get distracted and the focus isn't there, the attention to detail is not there, and there is a clear shift in their interest basically in you, which is, again, if they were super interested, they wouldn't be distracted, that is a sign. Now, another sign you can look for is an abrupt mood shift, right? So say you're talking with them and it is positive. You're going back and forth, you're learning about them, they're learning about you, and it's generally speaking, pretty positive. And then all of a sudden, maybe it's after you give an answer to a question, there is a clear and palpable shift. And they are rude, they are hostile, they are abrupt, they no longer seem invested, but there is a clear thing, like all of a sudden their personality turns on a dime. That right there is an indication that you're probably not gonna get the job. They're probably not gonna move forward. What probably happened to you is you said an answer, and that answer, whatever you said, maybe it was something off-putting, maybe it was something that made it so you're no longer qualified from their perspective, it all of a sudden just basically said, okay, this person's not a candidate anymore. And the way they're acting or treating you, or just their demeanor in general has changed right there. That's a pretty big indicator. Another indicator that you can look for when it comes to whether or not there is a significant level of interest is, are they taking the time to actually go through it, or are they rushing you? If they are rushing, like just to get through the questions, like they're just trying to go through, here's what's likely happening. When they're doing an interview, they have to ask a certain amount of questions. They've identified they're not gonna hire you, but they still need to ask you like 7 additional questions because they need to ask every single candidate the same question. So they've already made the decision that they're not gonna move forward with you, but they still need to finish the job. So given that that's the case, they're now rushing through the process. They're not taking their time, they're not letting you speak, they're interrupting, they're going, okay, let's move on to the next one, and all of a sudden it's moving forward. Now, I will say, there are times when I'm talking to good candidates and they are very lengthy with their responses that I do feel compelled to go, okay, I'd like to move on to the next question. We have a lot to cover, and I wanna make sure we get through everything. That is different than them rushing you abruptly, and all of a sudden they rushed and you're getting off early. That right there, clear indicator that you won't be getting the job. The next one, which is a big one, and this one might be a little bit harder to spot, but I'm gonna teach you how to spot it. One of the things I do as a recruiter when I'm really interested in hiring someone is I'm giving them buying signs. So I'm asking them questions like, from your perspective on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in this job? They say 8. 8, okay, that's pretty good. What would make it a 10? They ask you questions like that, or they go, how does this role compare to the other roles you're currently interviewing for, right? What they're trying to do is see, where do they stand in your rankings? Why? Because they're interested in you. They want to hire you, and they want to know what the probability is that they're able to secure your talent, right? That's what they're doing there. If they don't give you any buying signs throughout the whole thing, there's nothing where they're like, oh, do you think you'd be a good fit for this? Or how does that sound to you? Like different things where they're trying to gauge, are you interested? Is this going to work out? If they don't do any of that, could be because they're just not that into you. One of the things that I think all recruiters should do when they're interviewing candidates, or all hiring managers and all HR people, basically anyone involved in the interview process, is they should sell you. It is really hard to get great people. And if you're talking to someone, you need to be selling them. Sell them on the opportunity, sell them on the growth and advancement, tell them about your company, sell them on the culture. Everyone should do this at every stage of the interview process if you were involved in hiring. And if they do none of it, 2 things. They are terrible at their job and terrible at interviewing people. Very possible, by the way. Or they're just not that into you as a candidate and they're not going to extend you an offer. They won't be moving forward with you. Or it could be both. Now, the last one is something that's actually relatively easy to spot if you're looking for it, but they're asking you some of the same questions over and over again. Or you've said something and now they're asking you a question where you're basically having to repeat information you've already said to them, like, oh, I've already told you this. What's happening there? Well, they've checked out, right? They're no longer as engaged. They're no longer paying as well of attention. They're not taking as good of notes. And why is that? It's because they're no longer interested in you as a potential candidate. They have identified this person is not the person. We are not going to be able to hire them. They are not the person, and they've checked out. That is rude. It is irresponsible. It is not a good use of anyone's time, but it happens. So if you find them asking questions where you're repeating information like, yeah, I already told you that 2 or 3 questions ago, what's probably happening there is they've decided this is not the candidate. We are not going to move forward. And that right there is a sign that you won't be getting the job. There it is. I'm actually going to do 2 more of these videos. It's going to be a 4-part series. So if you've seen this one, and it's like in the future, watch 1, 3, and 4. They're all going to be jam-packed. If you're seeing this the day this is premiered, the other 2 videos are coming, but definitely go back and watch my original video. I think it's got 8 or 9 reasons that are really solid, really strong, and they're some of the easier to catch ones, so you definitely want to watch that too. I'll link that below in the description box. If you've watched all of this and you are not subscribed, this is the universe telling you, hey, subscribe to this channel because you just listened to this dude for like 6.5 minutes. And if you are subscribed and you're watching this video as one of my loyal subscribers, hey, you are awesome. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Have a great day. Good luck in your next interview. You got this.